Greetings, greetings, greetings. I'm a Juneteenth face. Greetings and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome back to another weekly session of our Lunch and Learn. Today we have the Holistic Alchemist in the house with us. My sister, my friend, Omena L. Bring it up, Miss Om. Hey there, love. How you doing today?
I am so well, and I'm so excited to be here with everyone. Welcome, and I look forward to teaching you all what I know and having people to definitely interact in the chat.
Super, super. So before we start your session, I just want to speak to you a little bit and welcome you into the space. And welcome, sis. Thank you for joining us and bringing us your session today, teaching our folks how to eat with supreme wellness, or eat for supreme wellness, I should say. Before we go into your session, could you share a little bit about yourself, but also about what eating for supreme wellness actually means to you and what you're bringing to the world through it?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here for your time. So, eating for supreme wellness is a concept that I came up with about 12 years ago. And it was when I noticed that, you can be doing all the right things, right? Like you can be eating well. This is mainly with the clients. I'm a board certified holistic nutritionist. So, let me just start off with that. I am a Brooklyn bred mother of three. I have two living heirs. I am a certified board holistic nutritionist and a Thai massage therapist. So, from working with clients, the many years that I've been working with them, I noticed that my clients would be following my guide along with, eating the kind of foods they needed to eat for their blood type, the season, the this, that, and the other. But some people weren't having the best effects. And that is because there was an emotional piece missing from the coaching. And I realized that people actually are not eating what they think is just regular food for health. They're actually eating their emotions. And because they're eating their emotions and they're not dealing with the triggers that cause them to eat certain foods, this in turn is why they're not having the best results that they can have, whether it's losing weight, whether it's having more energy, whether it's more clarity, whether it's feeling more grounded and not feeling stuck. So the eating for supreme wellness was I had to go back and revamp it, right? To make it a holistic process for real, where I really touched more so on the emotional piece, because disease starts in the mind with your stress thoughts that don't always look open. They don't always look like, oh my God, you're wearing your stress on your face. Sometimes it's very quiet. It can look like quiet anxiety. It can look like quiet depression, and you're going on and functioning, throughout your day, but you're not right present with what the foods are doing in your body. And your cells, from the trauma that you've experienced, holds certain memories. And so for me, I was like, that's the missing component. And so eating for supreme wellness is going to address that. And then it's going to help people make smarter decisions and smarter choices with their when they do sit down and eat. What am I feeling today? How am I feeling? What am I going through?
I love that. I love that. You and I have had a conversation. So the first thing that comes up for me and your response is that the body keeps the score. And I love that book. If some of you guys out there have never read that or don't know anything about it, check it out. The body definitely keeps the score. So that's what came up for me. And then what else came up for me was that we are what we eat. We have these little sayings and monikers in our society, but we don't always actually really think about them with depth. We kind of like just say them and keep it moving and going, like how we do a lot of the things. We live on autopilot. So those two things really came up for me. And I think about the conversation that you and I had around arthritis, and you opening my eyes up to what arthritis actually was, different emotions manifested within my body. So I'm not going to give any of that away, because those are my gems, folks, and I'm not going to share them. That's for her to share, and for you to reach out and find out from the Holistic Alchemist exactly what alchemy she knows when it comes to these diseases that live in our bodies and how we got there, and trying to help us get away from them with the most holistic means as possible. So with all of this being said, I'm going to pass over the mic to you and pass the stage to you. I'll be here participating, but I do know we have someone else in the house with us today that will be supporting and playing along with us, and more than playing, actually participating and experiencing what it means to get some of the experience.
That Omlistic Frequency Technique.
Right. Hey, Miss Magic, welcome to the stage. Thank you for coming and joining us today. And I would say, Jervin, you can take us into, Omena, you ready to go into your slides?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And you can put us in the little 3 boxes on the side, and I'm going to mute and follow your lead, Omena. Thank you, sis.
Awesome.
All righty.
Thank you all so much again. So again, you are here for the Eating for Supreme Wellness Workshop. And again, oh, sorry, next slide. A divine day to all of you light beings. I am aware that there are gentlemen a part of our our audience today. So I will be including you in this, but I must say that I work specifically with professional women, women executives, and mothers, okay? That is my main demographic, because we tend to, you know, have a huge responsibility of taking care of the family, of working, and what is very necessary is that these women and mothers, because we're the foundation and we're the lifeline of humanity, that we are grounded, that we are finding spaces to really be well, so that our households, we can raise healthy households, we can, you know, thrive in our relationships and teach our children how to have functional relationships. So when a woman is well, the whole family is well. And so I am so glad that many of you are here. Again, I am Omena L. I'm a board certified holistic nutritionist. I have 25 years of experience in the wellness industry. I have helped over 200 people heal from various autoimmune to just simply, you know, living a more healthier life. Not everybody has always had a major disease, but I've definitely reversed conditions like diabetes, heart disease. I even really specialize more so in autoimmune deficiencies around lupus, you know, around what we were talking about with the arthritis. So those are just some things to let you know what I really have been successful in helping people get through. I'm a mother of 3. I have 2 living heirs. I've mentioned this already. And I'm just excited to be here teaching this Eating for Supreme Wellness course for you. Next slide. So I want to know who's in the room. Again, if you're in the chat, please participate. But my good sister, I have Jamie and I have Magic here. And so what we're going to do is I want you all in the chat to introduce yourself in a form of a haiku. That's a 3-line stanza, just letting us know like your name, who you are, and, you know, a fun fact about yourself. So I am Optimal Om, and I am transforming trauma through holistic wellness, self-care, and talk therapy. And I'm going to pass that off to Jamie.
All right. My name is Jamie Lloyd, a.k.a. the High Healer, and my purpose is to help others cope, deal, and heal by many means necessary.
Yes. My good sister Magic.
Hola, I am Bathsheba Hickson, aka Miss Magic, and I am Miss Magic on the mic here to bring the light, and that's what I do, and that's why I came to this planet.
Say that again a little bit clearer, because I missed it.
I said I am Miss Magic on the mic here to bring the light. My name is Bathsheba Hickson, aka Miss Magic. And I said that's why I'm here, and that's why I came to this planet.
That's what's up. It sounded a little bit muffled on your end. I don't know if anybody else is having that problem, but I heard that you are Miss Magic on the mic.
Yeah, It does
Is that
sound,
better?
it gets a little low.
Yes,
All
that's
righty.
so much better.
You like, is this mic on? All righty.
All
Again,
right.
my name is Bathsheba Hickson, a.k.a. Miss Magic.
And you
Fabulous.
have, you do have some users on our comment thread, and you have a Miss Cheryl Hood, Cheryl, I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Sherelle, that's Sherelle.
Sherelle Hood is here from Epic Wellness Academy LLC. No haiku to go with it. And for any others that Miss Dawn Coleman was asking, how can you hear her? So she can't hear you, but if you drop your comments in the chat, I can read them out to her. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And
Thank
complete.
you all for being here. Next slide. So, what is Eating for Supreme Wellness? Eating for Supreme Wellness is a holistic, comprehensive workshop and balancing one's emotional eating and your healthy living. So, it's going to teach and show you the emotional connection between your stress thoughts, like I mentioned before, and that suppressed trauma to the food choices that you make. Okay. Once we've identified the primary triggers affected, then we can holistically heal from the inside, out to achieve optimal wellness. Next slide. As overworked mothers and women, one of our biggest challenges that I've noticed just from working with clients, besides managing our time, is cooking and eating wholesome, balanced meals that provide supreme nourishment. So sometimes the poor diet choices that you might make causes a myriad of ailments, and you're not always aware that you're not making the best, healthy choices when it comes to eating. Next slide. You went back. You're going to go forward. 2. Next one. Okay. So half of the time we're not eating a balanced meal ourselves, because we're lacking emotional, spiritual, and physical balance. Womenpreneurs and executives need health coaching in all aspects of their lives, especially mothers, from psychological to physical. In Eating for Supreme Wellness, we offer holistic remedies that leave you feeling rejuvenated and nurtured, balanced and inspired, because every woman deserves to be mothered. We are the lifeline to humanity. Next slide. So I'm going to have my good sister, Magic, play along with me. I want to know, how do you define self-care, sister? So just give me 3 things that you do for your own self-care, and I can start. So for me, I just moved to this new city, and I still am finding new ways actually to tend to my self-care. Normally, I used to just go for walks around the park. I would go to the movies by myself or treat myself to a date. I love being in water. But now that I'm here in Georgia, what I notice I do, I still go to the park. So when I take my son to the park, I'm literally sitting out in the grass. Like, that is where I'm at. I take my shoes off. I'm making sure that my feet is touching the earth, and I do some deep breathing. The other thing is I have a beautiful terrace. So I sit out on my terrace. I take a minute. I let the children do what it is they're doing. And I say, hey, listen, I'm out on the terrace. Don't mess with me. The other thing is I've become a plant mama. So I actually talk to my plants, and I just had a real lesson on knowing the importance of, what you need for nurturing, like why it's so important to have these connections in your friendships, your family, your co-working relationships. Is so important to know what you need, because my plants are teaching me that. So that's been another amazing thing, that's just for my own self-care and wellness, and then being able to, be responsible for another life form. So, yeah.
I would say that currently I just returned from the East Coast back to the West Coast, where I reside primarily. And right now it would be like go into meditation mode, which I will do through either like finding a YouTube that, you know, calls to me, or going on like Clubhouse, say for instance, and finding a room that has a certain type of vibrational energy, and trying to center myself. I'll I'll make a smoothie, and do something like that, and try to find a way to kind of express something a little on the creative side, because where I find I lack self-care affects my creative everything. And napping. I am a religious napper. And that's it for now. It used to be different, maybe a couple of years ago, and I'm looking for some new regiments to put in place moving forward.
You said something so powerful. You said napping. And I want you to know that there's a sister, her name is Trisha, I forget her last name, but she is part of the rap. She is the founder of the the rest ministry, the nap ministry. And she's a powerful sister. And she uses napping as a form of resistance and a form of, you know, self-nurturing and self-care to our people, to really come out of burnout culture, to really come out of like what society says you need to be doing and working these hours and your life should look this way. She's like, no, rest is one of the most like restorative and one of the most rebellious things you can do. You know what I'm saying? Against a society that tells you got to be working and pumping out this amount of hours and doing these things. So I follow her, and I actually recommend her services to my people who have autoimmune deficiency. So for Jamie, for you with the arthritis, that rest piece is, ooh, it is so key. Thank you for that. Thank you for giving that to us as well, and reminding all of us, including myself, that a good nap in the middle of the day is definitely beneficial.
I love 20-minute naps. I learned about it like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's been useful.
You did what?
I learned about 20-minute naps.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was about 4 years ago, and it's been useful.
Okay. Well, according to the Medical Journal of Psychology, self-care is any activity that we deliberately do in order to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. And although it's a simple concept in theory, it's something we very often overlook. Good self-care is really key to an improved mood. It reduces that anxiety that many of us go through and feel, myself included. And it's also key to a good relationship with yourself, because your self-care does matter. It's important for your mental health wellness. It's important for nutrition. It's important for everything that encompasses a person's success in life and you thriving in the world. So that self-care is very key. Do not overlook that. Did anybody else share? Did anybody in the chat share what they thought self-care was, or their top 3 self-care?
No, not right now, but I'll go ahead and share mine.
Okay.
So rest is definitely one of those. As of lately, I've been having this conversation with myself. And you mentioned it, that society, and I was saying earlier about how we run an autopilot, like always trying to fill in the time with something that needs to be done, while realizing that rest is something that has to be done in order to run efficiently for me. 2 is basically having my surroundings kind of in a way. So my bedroom has become an oasis. I have my altar set up. I have my incense burning. And yes, Dawn, I agree with you. We have Dawn Coleman said spiritual baths. She mentioned facials, and spiritual baths is also one of those means of self-care for myself, as well as dating myself. Yeah. And that dating myself can look like anything. It's me with a book, me in the park, me walking the dog, just really enjoying nature and just a moment to be still.
I heard the last part about the spiritual bath and just taking a moment to be still. I apologize. My son, 3-year-old. I am a mama. So
It's all good.
you might hear me go back and forth between the 3-year-old, because he's 4-year-old. He's 4 now. Because even though I told him I'm doing this, of course he's going to call me. That's another thing, is setting up healthy boundaries with your children. Normally he's good, but you know, hey, they're little
Yeah, I was
people,
going to
so
say,
we have to
even then,
adjust.
some of those things are just ideals. You know, at the end of the day, a 3-year-old, 4-year-old does not understand boundaries, and yes, we can teach them over time. But when they need mama, it's like,
That's it.
listen. Exactly. So no need to apologize at all. This is a child-friendly space, and we welcome children here. And any space that is not child-friendly in this new technology age post-COVID, I'm not going to be rude, but so many different thoughts just ran through my head.
I know, right?
As I said, put them in the trash. But yeah,
well, next slide, please. And thank you for sharing that self-care, because believe it or not, with what you both just shared, again, it's vital to the cellular regeneration. And it's also vital to the way your body absorbs minerals. You are depleted when you don't have self-care. You're physically or emotionally or mentally depleted. You cannot absorb your minerals. You cannot absorb your vitamins. You can't absorb the healthy foods that will actually give you the energy you need, that will support your adrenals, that will support, you know, the different organs and things in your body to keep. Most people are just really wanting to have energy. They're wanting to lose maybe some pounds, and they're really wanting to know ways that they can maintain good health, so they can just have longevity enough to be able to enjoy the things that they're doing. So this self-care is a big piece, and thank you both for sharing. Like I said, it's directly linked to our mental health wellness. And if you continue to self-neglect, which some of us do through self-doubt and lack of prioritizing your personal needs, you will burn out. And burnout culture, I don't care what anybody says, like work those long hours in the boardroom. You're an entrepreneur. You just got to stay up, banging it out, do those invoices. It's not sexy. It's not sexy when you can't get up the next day and even just kind of bring the balance of work life, right? Fun. You have to be able to also have some fun, so that that can increase the endorphins and the serotonin and release neurotransmitters to give your organs, right? Again, the balance and the alkalinity that it needs. That's so important. So next slide, please.
And just while you're going on to while the next slide is being moved on to, I'll share that Glamour Girl at the gig said self-care, taking time for healing. Lately has been getting massages at their local massage school. I've never thought about that. I've done the haircuts at the local hair school. I've done nails at the local nail school. I've never done massages. Thank you for that. I appreciate that tip.
And as a massage therapist, why is that such a beautiful thing that Glamour shared with us? Is because, let me tell you, we all know massages can be quite pricey. I get it, because it's our time, it's our energy, and it's an energetic exchange and a vibrational exchange, but it's also physically taxing to massage therapists. So we have to charge for this, right? But when you go through these schools, like, I would totally encourage everybody to look in their area, the different massage schools, because these students are learning, but you already are coming to the school with the skill, okay? You just need that paper or that license so that you can do what you just innately, naturally just came to do. It's half the price, sometimes 70% less than what you would pay. You might be paying $30 for a massage that, if you go into the spa, is going to cost you $200. You're going to pay $30 for that massage. So that's a very good suggestion. It's still very therapeutic and relaxing, and it's a good lymphatic cleanse, massaging that acupressure, because we need the blood to circulate and flow. We need our lymphatic system to actually be able to you develop something called lymphs, which is a clear liquid that helps to travel through the arteries in the body. It helps to release the toxins through your liver, through your skin. So those massages are actually really, really, really crucial. Okay. So let's just check in really quickly with people. I know it's still close to the beginning, and I want to keep it moving, but I want to ask you, Magic, and anybody else in the audience, and Jamie, if you want to chime in, but I want to ask, you to fill in these statements. So what I'm hearing is,
what I'm hearing is this is the perfect timing. This is beyond divine, is what I'm hearing.
and
In
what I'm
my life,
noticing about myself is,
what I'm noticing about myself is that I'm having a major, in a beautiful way, major shift in my body, mind, and energetic space.
and this makes me feel.
This makes me feel that it's time to take action for the necessary changes that I want to make for the desired results in my health, diet, weight, body weight, space, actually.
Ashe, amen, aho, alhamdulillah.
And Dawn says that she's hearing that self-care is crucial. Dawn, can you also share what you're noticing about yourself and how it makes you feel? And in the meantime, I will share that what I'm hearing is that I need to continue to root myself in these new practices that I'm taking on. What I'm noticing about myself is that when I'm in the transition of moving from one way of being to another, there's a lot of resistance that comes up for me, and a lot of the little 5-year-old girl in me that like is throwing tantrums because she doesn't want to give up certain things and certain ways of being. But overall, how it makes me feel is excited and happy, because I know that as long as I use the tools that I've acquired in my life on my own self-healing journey, that she's not going to be in charge driving this boat, and that if I continue to listen, show up for myself, put those self-care in place, that it's all going to start to have the proper impact.
Amen.
And so Dawn says she notices that she feels great when she does self-care, and she knows that it's important for her to be consistent with it.
Amen. And this makes her feel. How does it make her feel?
I'm waiting on that one.
So while she does that, I actually had to give myself some self-care because it's a little warm where I'm at, and get my water.
I'll show you with that.
To take a sip of water. And what I wanted to say about this as well, and what I'm noticing, so what I'm hearing for myself as a holistic practitioner is that it's so important for me to continue to push through my own personal obstacles and to push past other outside barriers to make sure that this work, the knowledge I have, and the information I know is transforming and shared with women and men across the freaking globe. And I'm hearing that it has to happen on a national level where I'm at, and then it will expand. That this work is important. I have to. I'm charged with that. And I'm also hearing that I have to continuously apply what I'm teaching and sharing and what I know. And what I'm noticing about myself is that in me teaching this kind of work, I feel alive. It is my innate happy place. It's where I thrive. It's where I belong. It's where I feel comfortable. It's where I know that I am the most powerful, because this is my God-given purpose. This is what I came here to do. And I'm also noticing about myself that whatever that other little voice that plays from the trauma and the trigger, that I must first acknowledge, okay, you're here, and then ask those types of questions, like, you know, those inference-based questions, like, okay, so what are we really feeling? Because you're bringing this up as a thing of caution. So what do we think is going to happen versus what's really happening? Okay, so that's what I'm noticing. And it really does make me feel alive. It makes me feel, you know, inspired to go forth and do this work, to continue to offer workshops like these, and to continue to even expand upon these workshops, because you all do need this. And it lets me also know that women in the audiences, whether you feel like you know this information I'm sharing or not, and even for me, it's necessary for me to continue to be around other holistic practitioners and doing their courses, sharing what I know, but just being a student. It is so important sometimes for me to just be a student as well. So, and that just makes me feel inspired. It makes me know I'm on the right track. Okay.
Ashe, that's beautiful. And from you have a Ninsa, a gentleman on YouTube, says prayer hands, self-care with a blue heart.
Hey, Anissa. Oh my gosh, my family's in here. I appreciate you all being here, really and truly. So the next slide, please. And now what we're going to do is we're going to just circle the top 3 things on this list that you have been dealing with. So for instance, right, if you notice that you self-doubt, that you are fatigued, that you're overworked, that you are undervalued and underappreciated, you're anxious, you have low energy, you self-neglect by not necessarily always doing what you need to do for you. You put the needs of others before your own, not always intentionally, not always noticing. It's not like you really know that that's what you're doing, but it just is something that happens, and that's self-neglect. Whether it's you making poor diet choices and then you have a suppressed appetite or a low throat chakra, you're not speaking out and saying what needs to be said or speaking up for yourself, whether you're irritable, fearful, if you have mental scatteredness and clutteredness in your personal life, like you're not always organized, or it might take you a long time to leave the house because you, you know, have too many things flowing at one time and you have not been able to compartmentalize your thoughts. They're just all over the place. Or poor boundaries, right? Like, you know that you have to get something done for yourself, and then you might be easily distracted and you'll go off because the boundary might just be with yourself. You might have that type of a mindset that's like, not mindset, but just like, you know, you just get easily distracted. So I'm going to go off and do this thing, knowing you need to have the clear boundary to stop and say, this thing absolutely needs to be prioritized and has to be done, or you allow other people to come in and interfere with that. So you're just literally going to circle the top 3 that resonate with you. And I will start because I've done this. I've done this so many times. So anxious. Oh my gosh. Like right now, I have something going on in my personal life that has me so full of anxiety. And I swear the creator and my ancestors keep talking to me because I'll go to them. I'll pray. I'll be like, okay. And I get moments where I'm just like, because I'm breathing about it. But then that anxiety tries to creep back in. So anxious is definitely one for me. Fatigue is another one, in the sense that I've been staying up lately, and I'm going to say this is going to be a different one. So the fatigue is going to be a new thing for me right now, because I've been staying up sometimes to like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going to assume that part of me being up that late has to do with what I'm dealing with, right? Because I just want things to happen and unfold in a particular kind of way. And then the next thing would be the scatteredness for me, because it does take me a very long time sometimes to get out of the house, because I have 50 things I'm trying to do in 1 second. It's like, I want it done in 1 second, not even at a time. It's like, I want all 50 of those things to be like, let's do it now. And so I really do have to do a lot to just pause, pause and stop. And so I've been getting a lot better with the mental scatteredness, because it also, you know, when you're trying to communicate or express or say something, you know, you forget a lot, that type of a thing. So those are my 3. Magic.
You know, when I saw this list, I was like, ooh, oh man, this is like I'm looking at a list of like my whole last couple of years. But top 3, top 3, I was just writing on my post-it. Top 3 would be self-doubt, because that is like the big war between me and myself. I get real double-minded. And the second would be probably normally first, which is mentally scattered and cluttered, in terms of my personal life and other. And then number 3 would be poor boundaries. Because I am the queen of, I don't know how to say no. I feel guilty or like I'm doing something wrong or being selfish when I do. And I'm complete.
Thank you so much. So much gratitude. Did anybody in the audience share, Jamie?
Yes. So Dawn shared fatigue, low energy, and scattered. And Glamour Girl at the gig said self-doubt, overworked, and mentally scattered.
Do you see what's going on in this room? See what's happening with the energy, with vibration?
I say, and I'll share mine. Mines are anxious, mentally scattered and cluttered, and poor diet choices.
I mean, like my sister, myself. The mirror. Whenever you're in a room, you're in a workshop, you're in any type of a space, you will notice that the people in that space, even those who have not contributed or maybe have not like spoken up, you all, most of us are all dealing with something very, very similar. And so that's what I'm noticing. Anytime I do this workshop, I swear, it's like, oh my goodness, you're dealing with that too? Oh, girl, you hear the person share their story. You're like, yep, I relate to that. So it's all the mirroring, because though we're mentioning that these are our top 3, it does not mean that that's a bad thing. And that's something we should judge and punish ourselves for, because I should be someplace that I feel I need to be and I'm not. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that this is information. This is information for you to see and know I'm not by myself. And I have maybe some accountability partners that I can partner up with and be like, hey, sis, so you want to get together? So maybe we can, like, you know, set something up a day or 2 to just, you know, be able to check in with each other, you know, and small goals for people who are mentally scattered, including myself. What I have started doing, and this is what helps me because my room is organized now. So guess what? I'm doing one thing. Some people will tell you do 3 things. Pick the top 3 things you need to do for the day, write it down and get it done. No, I'm going to do one thing. And in that moment that I get it done, if I then say, let me look what else is, just write the whole list of things that you want to accomplish and achieve. Just put that list out first. You're not going to try to do that. Okay. But what you're going to do is you're going to look at your list and you're going to pick one. For me, I pick one thing from my list. If it's making a phone call, I'm going to make that one phone call and then I'll move from there. So for mentally scattered people, that's a great tool for us because one, it eliminates the anxiety of, oh my God, I got to get this done. I didn't get it done. And now you're beating up on yourself and you're harsh and you're feeling like, oh my God, a failure for what? And then what you're going to do is you're going to rush and you're going to go for probably some type of creamy food, some type of like a pasta or some bread. You might even go for a sweet, because in that sense, you're not getting the nurture, you're not being nurturing to yourself, and you're not being supportive to yourself. When you're unsupported, that's going to lead you to creamy based foods, cheese, dairy, bread, ice cream. You're not being gentle with yourself, it's going to lead you to sweets. Oh, let me just eat this piece of candy. Right? For some people, it might be like a sweet fruit. That's cool because that's a better choice. But that sweetness, that sugar is like, I need some support. And if you're also like me and you freeze and you don't do anything, you probably won't eat anything. But then by the time you do eat, it's been way too many hours and you might just go for the nearest thing that's available. And now you've created too much acidity in your gut. And now your gut can't really process that. So the whole name of the game is to, in these 3 things that you picked, that you know you deal with, you tackle one thing. For me, the mental scatteredness, I can address that because that's going to help with my anxiety. The fatigue, I've tried. Yesterday, I actually got in bed, y'all. First of all, by 11 o'clock, I was tired. The goddess was like nodding, but I'm like, no, I got to get these invites out. I need everybody to show up today. I pushed myself. And by midnight, it was like, I conked out. I could not. So I actually was in bed by midnight. Y'all don't even understand how giving yourself an applause and, ooh, girl, like, Omena, girl, you got in bed at midnight? Like, that's major. You got to cheer yourself on, because I promise you, men and women alike, like, you know, we might look at that as, oh, damn, I wanted to be in bed by 10 o'clock. And I made it in bed by midnight when I don't go to bed till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Nah, bro, that is a major accomplishment. So big yourselves up, you know, put that in there, because what that helped me to do today is I got up at 7 a.m. with no problem. Bam. Alarm went off. I was like, oh, I'm up. I feel refreshed and rejuvenated, and woo, I can jump and leap, and oh my God, I think I'm a ballerina. You know what I mean? Like I felt amazing. And so one day at a time, I'm gonna ravel in that feeling. And I won't say anything about tomorrow or what time I'm going to bed tonight. Step by step. Next slide, please. And we're about to come to an ending. So we're about to come to the close of this. And now this is where I talk about the Omlistic Frequency Technique. This is the O.F.T method. And we were going to participate in a collective activity, but I'm going to do this. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to give you, my good sister Magic, something else for you to do. And what I would like for you to do, if you have a pendulum in your house anywhere, or if you have a cracker, that would be better. If you have a cracker or something you can put in your mouth to chew, I would have you go get that now. Just take a few seconds to go get that now. You could get both if you have it, okay? But definitely go grab something that you could just eat.
I'm learning how to use a dehydrator because I know I need to be on this journey. So I dried out some mushrooms, and they're crunchy.
So that's perfect. So keep those right there next to you, because you're gonna eat those, okay? For this activity. So we're gonna perform in an activity, and a portion of this is gonna be the Omlistic Frequency Technique. Now, this holistic method that I've developed, it helps to track and measure one's low frequency and high frequency thoughts, and the connection to emotional eating. So a lot of times we're just feeling different ways. Again, the body is taking in so much, because your skin is really one of the largest organs that it doesn't just take in environmental stuff, but it takes in energetic things as well. And you don't even know, like, the portals that you're walking in. See, people will tell you to stand 6 feet apart. Really, energy and vibration measures 60 feet. So 60 feet away from you, you are able to magnetize, pull in, or meet up with the exact vibration you're feeling. And you're constantly walking in and out of energies when you're going outside, when you're in a grocery store, when you're at the amusement park, if you're at the job, in the office, whatever it is. If you're an entrepreneur and you're on the screen, you're even emitting and getting energies from the screen emission. You know what I'm saying? That UV, that whatever that is, it's like you're getting all of that in, right? So a lot of people don't take the time to think, like, what does that actually do? So I'm going to show you how to measure your thoughts, like where you can just wake up in the morning, you don't say anything, you get your hangers, and just let it read your energy, right? So we're going to participate a little bit in that. And it is a scientific fact that energy, like I said, measures 60 feet ahead, behind, and on both sides of you, okay? Your current emotions, based on your circumstances, will affect what kind of healthy boundaries you set for your mind, body, and spirit. Eating healthy is not the problem. It's the trapped emotions. It's the triggers. It's the trapped emotions. It's the unattended, thoughts that you just never thought to discuss, the closed throat chakra. That's what it is. It's not that you can't eat healthy. It's the habits. It's the habits. And we're going to go through that today. Next slide, please. So, my good sister, I'm not going to basically do this. Actually, I will. If the people in the audience, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to ask you all too, if you have anything you can chew, I want you to just, in this moment of what we're about to do, I want you to think about a time. And this is for you too, my good sister, okay? As you eat this mushroom. And listen, you can try to fake it, but your body, your body's going to tell on you. And I want y'all to be honest here, okay? Because it's just us. So I want y'all to really, really get right now into a thought of when it was the most happiest moment in your life. The most happiest experience. I want you to think about where you were, who was there with you, what were you wearing, what was said. Did somebody say something to you? Was it like maybe a personal thing you experienced on your own and it was just you there? And so was it the daytime? Was it the nighttime? Was it summer, spring, winter, fall? Get into it. Get into that thought. And I am about to do an example of O.F.T. So I'm going to turn to the side. Y'all see that the hangers are neutral right now. Can y'all see the hangers? You can see the hangers, right, Jamie? Can you see it, Jamie? You're muted.
Sorry, I can't see it as good as I could before. You look a little far. Okay, yeah, you know what? Raise them a little bit. Yeah, so then that way, yep, we can see. Yeah, we can see.
Okay. So they're somewhat neutral because my last energy that I did with this, it was like I was drawing in the energy. So I'm going to get into a space and I want you to just observe what the hangers are doing, okay? And while I'm doing this, I want you all to just take notice of that moment that you had, but also watch what it is I'm doing. Magic.
Question for you. I'm sorry to interrupt. Is it okay if we remove the slide? That way your picture is bigger?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
All right, you can see? Y'all can see, right? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go into this, okay? And I'm not going to speak it out loud. I'm just going to think it because 9 times out of 10, you're not speaking your thoughts out loud. You're just thinking them, okay? So here we go. Y'all see what just happened? You see how expansive my energy is? Okay. And so now I would like you to have that thought and chew the piece of food with that thought in mind, that the most fun time experience you had in your life and how that made you feel. Did you do that, Magic? Okay, go ahead and chew it. Yes. And just keep thinking about it. Get into the feeling of it. If you want to smile, smile. You know, get into the feeling as if the day is happening now, like as if you were there and it's happening now in this moment. Just get into that feeling and notice what it does for you. Notice how it makes you feel. Notice what's happening in your mouth as you're eating. Notice if your mouth is watering. Notice if you even can feel the food going down your throat. Notice all of it. It's what's happening in your mouth, what's happening in your body as you're chewing and as you're having this amazing thought that made you feel phenomenal. Whatever it was, it just made you feel so good. You were like full gratitude, love, thank you, praises. You know what they say, praise be, hallelujah, amen, ashe, aho, alhamdulillah. Right? Gratitude, whatever, that made you just feel so good. Come off mute so I can hear you.
Yeah, it actually, the salivation and the mushroom tasted sweeter than usual. It was interesting. That's interesting.
I
Wow.
can't make this type
Okay.
of stuff up. Can I make up what just
Uh,
happened? I can't make this stuff up. Y'all seen where the
and
hangers
then,
was at.
these were just fresh mushroom slices that went into a dehydrator. No, nothing, no seasoning, no. My mouth is still watering right now, feeling like a juicy mouth, as they say.
Because the body is
Wow.
a biochemical messenger. It is
Mm.
a biochemical receptor. That means when you are in a state of homeostasis, your body, all your organs, all the things are going to start to work in place, right? Your body's going to begin to produce more salivation because it's going to,
Mm.
the salivation is what helps the food to ease through. It helps it to go down and not be stuck.
Mm.
You're
Okay.
creating water. You're an electromagnetic being, and it is working with the cells. You have, these trillions of cells that are all like little organs. The brain receptors in your brain, the limbic part of your brain is like, oh my God, we remember that. We feel good. And it's all working together. Your heart is producing enough blood so that when that food goes down the esophagus and through your stomach lining and out through your liver, it processes it. All the nutrients from that food is being absorbed right now. That is an example of when you're eating for supreme wellness, because you got those thoughts and you're vibrating. But we know we don't always be in those thoughts, right? We know that sometimes you're gonna have other types of thoughts. So we're gonna do the opposite. Right? We see where the hangers are. We see where they are.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna take another mushroom, and I'm gonna give you some time because I'm gonna need some time as I'm walking through this. I'm actually gonna start thinking about this. That thing that's been giving me that anxiety. I'm about to go into that so I can show you all exactly how fast, like the speed of light, your body reacts to the emotional triggers. And then we'll go into the closing this up, the last words, and we'll close it up. So now, everyone, and I don't know, Jamie, if people have commented, if they did this, I don't know what people are saying. If you want to let us know a few before I go into this next segment, because I want to be respectful of the time and mindful of the time. We got about like 7 minutes.
So Anissa said, wow, this is amazing. Omena, this is amazing. He is wowed by what you got going on here. We also had someone that had came in and given their 3 ideas of what self-care is, and that is Roots Godfinder. And I didn't want to skip over that completely. Welcoming him into the space. Self-neglect, undervalued, and overworked were his top 3. And no one on this part. Everyone is just watching along with you.
Perfect. Awesome. So we see, because energy doesn't lie. That's the biggest thing. You are an electromagnetic being and your energy does not lie. So now we're going to go into the opposite. And so I want you all to just think about either something recent or something in your past that triggered you in a way where maybe it caused you to self-neglect, self-doubt, where it caused you to put yourself last, where it made you sad, where it made you angry, where it made you anxious, where it made you depressed. Whatever it is, I want you to think about that moment. Now, we ain't gonna go too deep because I don't want to close off on such a dark note, because I'm gonna change it and switch it back up. This actually should have been the opposite. But I just want you to think of a time where you weren't feeling that great, Magic. You understand what I'm saying? And I want you to try eating another mushroom, and I want you to observe what happens as you are in the feeling first. You got to get into the feeling, because remember, it's the feelings, it's the thoughts that make you go unconsciously choose the foods that you're choosing. But see, with eating for supreme wellness, we're going to show you how to make conscious decisions in your eating. Okay, so just get into that feeling, get into how it made you feel. I'm going to go into it. I'm going to stand back on this side because I want you all to see what happens as the hangers are moving. Okay, so here we go. You see? You see? And that is the opposite. That is the opposite. I'm going to come on out of this too. I'm going to do something else. Because I'm like, I'm not going to stay in the vibration of this feeling here. You see it's already moving. I'm not staying in this vibration. I won't do it. It's moving. See that? It's moving. Because I am love and I am light. I am love and I am light. As the light shines above, so does the light live within below. That thing opened up real quick for me. Because it said, you ain't going to stay there. This one is still halfway. So it's still halfway. This one is the right side, which represents the side of ego. Your human life. It's the human you, so your human self. The left side, in what I study Egyptian mysticism, is always the side of spirit. It is your true self. It is your higher self. And guess what? That's all the way out. That's all the way expanded. Let me see. How can I go? That's all the way out, all the way expanded. Oh, Lord have mercy. I don't know, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's all the way out. And now they're both all the way out. You know what I mean? They're just out. This is the left side over here. This is the right side. This is my left side. It's all the way out. So that's an example to let you know that you may not be conscious of what you're always thinking and feeling. But if you allow yourself to just eat something, just notice what happens in your body. And magic, when you ate the mushroom, what happened?
Yeah.
And I want you to think of sadness. I want the word sadness, and I want the word failure to be in your thoughts as you're eating it. And I want you to get into that feeling of what that feels like. And then we're going to bring you out of it. But get into what sadness and failure feels like. You know? Let that be present as you're trying to chew it. Get into that feeling. And let's talk about what it is. Anybody in the audience? Wow, this is like totally, child, what are we doing? This one just like, it's hard for me. I can't even get it off. I'm trying to get it out. And it's like, you know, it's there.
So for the first part of the exercise, I was already thinking about sadness and, you know, and just added failure to it. But my mouth felt pasty.
It felt what?
Pasty. So, look, sticky, pasty, dry, like ashy mouth.
Cotton mouth.
Cotton mouth. That's what it's called. Cotton mouth. Yeah. The chew not so easy, tougher, and wow, I never noticed that before. That's wow.
So now we're going to come out of this. I'm going to close this really quickly. I'm going to have you bring back up the slide, and I want everybody to go to the next one, please. Thank you so much. Go to the next one because I want to be mindful of time and space here. So what's next? Being overworked, being self-neglectful, being all of these things, your top 3 things that have been really keeping you stagnant, right? And fatigue for men, for women, for women, mothers, and men in general, right? You're at a greater risk for not just heart disease, but mineral depletion. And what could be more important than the well-being of your life and your families? So I want you all today, when you leave here, to ponder on this and direct your attention to your body's reaction to the food cravings. That's the first thing. What am I craving? And the thoughts that just occurred during that flashback, right? Like for you, Magic, and anybody else here, just think about like what that is. And then, you know, you've already witnessed just a small portion of the O.F.T. because there's other things, but you'll have to join the class, right? Our next class is going to be the third Tuesday or the second Tuesday. I believe that's the 13th. July 12th or the 13th. That's going to be the next Eating for Supreme Wellness course. And so I encourage you all to find my information. Jamie, I don't know if you want to put in my link tree. I can give you my link tree. It's Om Bliss, so that everyone can follow me there. Go to my website, sign up for it. We have a 2-week, just if you want to just take it for 2 weeks to get an idea, it's only $222. You can do that. There are payment plans. If you have Shop Pay, if you have Affirm, if you have whatever it is, you can also break it down into payments, okay? Next slide, please. So as a direct remedy to this, I've created it says 4 weeks, but it's actually a 5-week digital course. And it's a group coaching course where you'll learn how to go deeper to identify what's been keeping you stuck, right? You're going to learn how to track your emotions while making connections to the food you're craving and eating. You'll also keep a food log for 7 days on breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're going to fast for 3 days. You'll also be logging the times and days that you do this, among other things. We're going to learn different meditation practices. We're going to do the water experiment so you can also understand how your thoughts, because you are an electromagnetic being, how those thoughts affect just your physical body as well, and how disease is created through this water experiment. You're going to utilize the O.F.T method, where you'll be able to measure and test your energy every day, anytime, while tuning your chakras. So you all are going to learn how to use that pendulum to tune your chakras through sound therapy, voice recording, and that hanger test that I just did with you. You'll all learn all of that. Then you're going to eat for supreme wellness and learn what that means for eating for your blood type, your body type, the seasons. All of those things are going to be in place to support proper blood circulation, because that's important, thyroid support, circadian rhythm, and that supreme theta wave activity that happens in the brain. So again, you can follow me at eating_for_supreme_wellness on IG. But my link tree, which is linktr.ee/om for Om Bliss BLISS 1111. Once you hit that link, it's going to bring you to my Shopify store. You can look that up. You can also book some time to speak with me through a discovery call with my Calendly. So there's that. There's a bunch of links that you'll be able to find me on. Next slide, please. And we're going to close out with a breathing technique. It's a fire breath. This is something else that we do within the course. But before we do that, I want everybody to stand up. So Magic, if you can stand up with me, you can take the screen off now so I can be able to see. People can see me and I can see you all. Okay. And this is a really good technique. So I don't know if they can see me. Let me try to push back a little. I'll push this back. Okay. So let me move this out of the way. Let me see if I can move you out of the way so I can get further. Let's see. So everybody's going to just stand up. And you're going to just hold your arms like this. Just kind of bend down a little bit, like you're getting grounded. You know, like how you kind of bend a little. Not too much, because you don't want to hurt the top part of your thighs. But just relax your knees and bend a little. Take your arms and just hold it like a hangman, just like this. And I want you to start with them down and breathe. Inhale. You're going to inhale into it, right? So exhale down. Inhale into the hangman. Exhale down. And now you're going to bring your arms forward. And as you're bringing it forward, you're going to inhale in. And exhale, bringing them up. Inhale, bring them down. Exhale, drop them. And you're going to just give yourself, you know, just kind of cross your hands and just kind of press the cushiony part of your arms and just quietly thank your body for being here with us for this hour. You know, you can just kind of take your fingers and just kind of, you know, pull them out, you know, massage in between the little cushion spaces really quickly. Just shake it. Okay. And just press a little bit on your arms. you know, go in between the fingers, just pull it a little bit, just shake it, and then just kind of rub yourself and just sway a little bit back and forth and say, I want y'all to repeat after me and say, I love you, self. You are the only self I have, and I am grateful for you. And just rub your heart. I appreciate you, self, because we made it. We made it through some incredible odds. We made it through some trials, and we are here. And just say, I thank you, self. Just sniff your hand. Just kiss your hand. Gently. Both sides. Thank you so much, self. We appreciate you. Namaste. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here.
Ashe, that was beautiful, sis. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I say, oh.
Thank you so much for being with us this week. If you could just hang out in the back. I did, just before we bid everyone farewell and all of your guests, you did also have a Shadeen Alifat is the only name that I did not get to share with you that I wanted to share. And also, if you could just hang out in the back for a few minutes on the backstage. All right.
Were
And
you able to put the link in the chat so that they can have it?
Yeah, I've done that. Your Instagram link is dropped in, as well as your Linktree chat is dropped in as well.
Perfect. And the Linktree would take everybody to the IG as well. Thank y'all so much for being here. Mwah, I love you. I love you. Tell yourself, I love me too. I love you, Omena. Love you.
Thanks, sis. See you in a few.
Peace.
So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being with us today. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, Omena, for coming here and showing us how to eat for supreme wellness. Looking forward to bringing you back again in the future. And for those of you who have joined, you can meet us at the same time each week for our Juneteenth NY themed lunch and learns, all things for the community. If there's anyone out there that has a workshop that they would like to present here, or would like to be interviewed in the space, you are welcome to apply, and you can do that through the Juneteenth NY New York family page, and that's where you were watching it today. You can do that either through the YouTube or through the Facebook. And next week we will have Sister Deborah Casanova, and she'll be here to talk about her brand and how it got started. So thank you so much for being with us today, and we'll see you guys next week.